Hi guys, welcome to week 2 of my weight loss journey. So if you watched my video last week, I needed £2 for my stone, but I had a lot of things planned in the last week that I didn't think I was lucky if I got lost this week, never mind my £2, so I wasn't expecting much. I did manage to get £1.5, which I was really happy with. I just realised I don't think I ever showed you my half a stone certificate last week. But yeah, I'm just covering my weights because I'm not quite ready to show those yet, but you can see that there. £1.5, £1.5, which means I now have lost £13.5, and I need another £0.5 for my stone. So I'm not gonna lie, when I first seen the scales, I was a bit disappointed. That I was disappointed that I was so close to my stone, but I didn't get it. So I'm quite an impatient person. I want to do everything like now. So to me, I was like, oh, for God's sake, I've got to wait another week now before I get it. But when I actually thought about it, I had a lot of food this week that's not necessarily diet food. So £1.5 is more than amazing. When I think about what I've actually managed to still have this week. So speaking of which, on the Wednesday, we went for, it was me and my husband's wedding anniversary. So we went just into town, done a bit of shopping, and we got a Nando's. I'm not a big Nando's fan. I don't rate it very much. I think it's a bit overrated, not gonna lie to you. But it was the best calorie option that we had available that we both agreed on, so be it. And it was nice. It was really nice, I gotta be honest. But again, it's not something I actively choose every time, I don't think. But yeah, we had the olives and halloumi to start. Oh, the halloumi is beautiful, literally. I love cheese anyway. Cheese is my favourite thing, I think, other than cheese and chocolate are my two downfalls. But yeah, it was so nice. And then for the main meal, I had the fino pitta, is it? Just chicken, and there's halloumi in there as well, surprise. And it was really nice. And I had, instead of having chips, I had the roasted sweet potato and butternut squash, I think it was, and I also had a corn on the cob. It was really good. Obviously I would have been over on my sins for the day with all of that, but I was still under on my calories, and that's something I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. But yeah, so I was still under on my calories, and because I was still under my calories, it let me just stop there and not keep going, which is what I would have normally done. And they have a cookie dough stall thing, cookie doughs and ice cream you can get, or just cookie dough. And cookie dough is my favourite thing ever, dessert wise. I love it. I could just eat, you can get the bars of it in Tesco's or Asda's. I could just peel it and eat it like a banana. I love it so much. So as we were walking past, they were offering free samples. Oh my god, I literally was sprinting past them, and I was like, no thank you, I do not want any, because I knew if I'd smelt it, even looked at that tray of free samples, I would have caved and I would have sampled it, and then I would have had one because I'd already tasted it. So I was like, nope, I do not want it, stay away, get away from me. So yeah, that was a lot of willpower, that was. So then the next day, every other Thursday, I have the day off, and my husband works until 11 PM in the night. So it's been a bit of a tradition for a few years now that on that Thursday, which is every 2 weeks, I get it off. I don't know if I mentioned that. My best friend comes down, we have cheesy chips, and we binge watch a TV show. Most often it's The Office US, but we do like to mix it up every now and again, but it is normally that we watch. It's something that we've always done, and I could say, no, I don't want to do it anymore, I'm on a diet now, blah, 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 but at the same time, I don't want to think of this as just a diet. I want to think of it as a lifestyle. There is going to come a point where I'm going to want to have chips. I'm going to want to have these things, and I need to be able to limit myself when that time comes. Otherwise, I'm going to be back to square one. So I weighed out a 350 gram portion of fish shop chips, which I think worked out at like 800 calories, 800 something calories, I think, don't sue me if I'm wrong. And then I had the 50% lighter than cheese from Asda's on top of it, just to try and lower it a bit. Again, I was under my calories for the day, so I was happy with that. I still kept most of the stuff that we, most of our tradition, but I still managed to stay on my diet. So yeah, I think that's what I probably will do every 2 weeks. I will allow myself that, as long as I make sure that I stay under my calories for everything else. And then on the Friday, I'm going to be honest, the Friday I was not under my calories. We went to a Chinese restaurant to celebrate our anniversary, and my cousin's anniversary is the day before ours. So we just went out for a meal together to celebrate, which had been planned for a couple of weeks beforehand. So we went to a Chinese restaurant. It was a bit of different like atmosphere than what I'm used to. So it's like a restaurant that you can get a takeaway from, but you can sit in and eat it there instead of taking it home, which I've never done before. Most of the time we either have a takeaway, or the kind of like restaurants that we go to, like Chinese restaurants, they're like all you can eat, like buffet style ones. So it was definitely a bit of a change, but it was really nice. One thing though, the portion sizes were a lot bigger than what we were expecting. So we ordered a lot more than what we needed to. There was so much food, we could barely fit it all on the table. It was lovely, don't get me wrong, and I had what I wanted to have, in the sense that if I wanted to try it, I'll try some, but I was quite cautious of the sizes, so like I tried to only put a little bit on my plate, and then once that was done, if I still wanted more, then I'll have a little bit more, like that way, rather than just piling it up, because if I put it on my plate, I'll eat it. Even if I'm full, I'll force myself to finish it. I think it's like just years of, like, when you're a child, you've got to finish your plate. So it's just ingrained in me now that if it's on my plate, I need to eat it. So yeah, I was careful with how much I put on my plate to begin with. Because we had quite a lot of food left over, I realised I do a lot of like hand movements. I'm sorry if that's really annoying to people. It's annoying to me now, I've noticed it. And I try not to. So because we had so much left over, they obviously give you the option to like box up and take it home, because you paid for this, so if you want to, you can. But I said we didn't, like, me and my husband didn't want to. My cousin could have if they wanted to, but they chose not to either, just because I knew if we took it home, we would have been eating it the next day, and it would have just kept it going a lot longer than what I needed to. I just wanted to draw the line. I enjoyed what I had, that was it, kind of thing. So yeah, I was over on my calories that day, but then I made sure for the rest of the week then I was under enough that for the week on the whole I was under, so it came out like even, if that makes sense. But yeah, speaking of calories, I come to the realisation that I'm gonna focus more on the calories than on like Slim Wilson's, because at this moment that's what's working for me. I'm still going to Slim Will to weigh, I'm still eating Slim Will food, I'm still following the like quarter of your plate speed, no, third of your plate speed, blah 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 blah. But for me, as long as I'm under on my calories, if I'm over on my sins, I'm not going to sweat it too much. That's just what I'm finding works better for me binge wise, because if I restrict myself in the sense that I get 15 sins, if I have a day or multiple days where I'm going to be over my sins, for me, I think, well, why stop? I've already ruined the day, I've already wasted the day, might as well keep going. And knowing that I had 3 days like that, like set for the week, I probably wouldn't have even begun doing, like, sticking to my diet this week at all, because I knew I could still be under my calories as a whole. It sort of kept me focused. So that's what I think I'm going to do going forward. It is mostly going to be, like I said, slimmer food is still going to end up doing, because that's what I like. I like the recipes, I like the food that they advertise. Just obviously portion wise and sin wise, that's going to be calorie restricted. But yeah, speaking of food wise, I also picked up this week the Pinch of Norm recipe book. I know a lot of people have mentioned this, saying it's really good, and I used to follow their recipes back when I first started Slimming the first time, about 4 years ago, I think 3 years ago. I did follow a lot of the recipes then. I'm not the best at following recipes because I tend to wing things. I sort of get a rough idea of the ingredients list and then I sort of take it from there. I'm not the best at like following it to the letter. But yeah, I did used to rate their recipes quite a lot, and some of them I still make all the time, even when I'm not on a diet. I still like do the campfire stews and things like that. So I'm excited to have a look through this and try some of the recipes. Something I like as well, obviously, because they're not able to put the sins in here because they're not like affiliated with the Slimming World. They do have the calories, which I like, because I wasn't sure if they would have calories, because obviously they don't really focus on the calories on their blog a lot. It is obviously mostly sin-free and sins that they talk about. So yeah, I'm excited to give that a go. I'm also trying to do a bit of batch cooking this week. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I work 12-hour shifts, so I have just as many days off as I have in, which is great in the sense that I get a lot of days off, but it means when I'm on my days in, I literally leave the house at 7 AM and I don't get home until like 9 at the earliest some days. And it's not the best cooking wise. Like, I don't want to be cooking that late at night. I don't want to be worrying about what I'm going to eat the next day in work, but thinking, oh, I have to make a full meal ready for this. So I've been trying to make like a big chunk of like meals that I can either use for the 3 days I'm in work, the 3 days one week for the next, or like recipes that I can freeze a portion of, so I can then just take them out of the freezer the night before to use for the next day. So that's what I'm trying to work on, building up a little bit of a stash, because at the moment it's quite repetitive, because when I make a batch cook, it's like it's for those next 3 days and then that's it. So I'm eating the same thing day in, day out, so I am trying to like work on making it a bit more varied so I don't get bored. But yeah, I think that's what I've got to talk about this week. I don't think there's much else. Not got anything planned next week. I think the next thing, anything like that could affect my diet as such, is probably going to be in about 2 weeks. It's my father-in-law's 50th and we're having like a little party, so there'll be like party food and cake and stuff, but I'll talk about that closer to the date anyway. but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So oh, I just want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my last video, and also commented on my Instagram post or messaged me on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at, I think my username is hannah_h_eats. I will double check it. I'll leave it in the little box below because I changed it a little while ago, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't really been using it a lot lately. Sort of fell out of the habit of using it when I wasn't sticking to plan. So I'll leave it below anyway if you want to follow me on there, because I am getting back into the habit of posting on there. But yeah, thank you so much for your comments. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to see more of my videos, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye.